and welcome back to the channel. Let's start today information. These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Sheila. The latest rates estimated quotes the anticipated opening rates because we don't know how high the rates may go based on Forex and or your ability to negotiate a higher rate. Most recent anticipated opening rate, Dong 47 cents, Dinar 3.81 cents. Claire article quote, what are the reasons for the weakness of the Iraqi dinar compared to other currencies? And economist answers quote, Al-Masha Hadini said the other matter is trade that is important export without relying on the government sector, in particular in Iraq's markets. As a result of the large discrepancy between import and export, is natural that there is a great demand for the dollar. Iraqi dinar has been an inevitable situation for nearly 20 years. After $1 dinar was equal to $3.50 during the past century, it reached more than $15.50 against $1, which caused problems in the Iraqi economy. Militiaman says the oil and gas law, they keep saying they're going to have things done. I believe these guys have already done almost the legwork. There's an article quote here there. In very advanced steps in accelerating the legislation of the oil and gas law. Well, Shaman says they're basically saying we're going to approve the law and end of story. That's phenomenal. Pimpy article quote, oil, gas and law. A law resolved the dispute between Baghdad and 8th region and a gateway to open all the files. Pimpy says the oil and gas law issue has not been resolved. This has been ongoing for years. The hang-up has a lot to do with the oil fields that were found after the Constitution was written, and they're saying technically it belongs to them, but Iraq is saying no, still belongs to us. Samson has an article quote, the dinar is in the central recovery rooms and accusations against the Americans of creating crisis. The sources of country strengthen the economic field are determined by several factors, foremost of which is the national currency, which requires elaborate measures to maintain its strength. 2 o'clock internally and externally, and the basis of these measures is to activate the private sector, expand the import sector and reduce exports. Walking sticks is the cause of monetary reform is due to smuggling. The profiteering of Iranian politician who owns outlets. Frank 26 says it sure seems like the key to everything in the relationship between Baghdad and Kurdistan, because that relationship agreed to open up the budget, agrees on HCL, agrees in Article 140, agrees on the oil rate, and without a doubt agrees with everything concerning monetary reform. They have exemplified that to Sudani militiaman article quote, that dinar is in the central recovery rooms. The accusations against the Americans of creating crisis. The national currency requires elaborate measures to maintain strength and value internally and externally. On the basis of the measures to be taken, will I activate the private sector and expand import and reduce exports? Militiaman says I may have this wrong, but to build out of the country they need to do this just as it's being stated. They need to take extreme measures to get the imports increased and the exports reduced. Why? Because it is far cheaper to rebuild the country with strength in national currency. It's the foremost item that is now needed. And lastly, Tish Tishwash has an article quote, the Sudanese government acknowledges the experience of the dollar speculators and counts on September the launch of the budget. Definitely means the availability of the funds. This means there is a large cash flow out already added. Many financial advisors in the government hope with the release of the budget funds that next month will be catalyst for the very large decrease in the dollar exchange rate. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more updates.